we ask, is negative 2, 4 on the line negative 2x minus 2 equals 4y? Well, if it is, then if x equals negative 2 and y equals 4, this is going to come out to be an identity, a true statement. So we substitute negative 2 for x, 4 for y. We get negative 2 times negative 2 minus 2 equals 4 times 4. Okay, well, it's pretty clear that this isn't going to be true, but let's just complete the evaluation. We get 16. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4 minus 2. 2 equal to 16 is false. So negative 2, 4 is not on the line negative 2x minus 2 equals 4y. Next, let's find the equation of the line through negative 2, 4 and 5, 3. Now there are numerous ways to do that. The preferred way, if we really want to understand what the equation of a line means, is we construct a fundamental triangle with these 2 points. Okay, whenever we can, if we've got 2 points, talking about something involving the line or its slope or the distance between the points, it's always a good idea to construct a fundamental triangle. So I'm going to put negative 2, 4 here and 5, 3 out here someplace. And without worrying too much about whether the triangle is accurate or not. Negative 2 is to the left of 5, and 3 is actually below 4, so really I probably should have gone ahead and put 5, 3 down here. So let's do that. Okay. Now, the fundamental triangle, well, we can construct it either here or here. I'm going to construct it up here. We could have constructed it down here, as you know. The run is 5 minus negative 2, which is 9. And the rise is 3 minus 4, negative 1. So we have a run of 9, a rise of negative 1. It follows that the slope, which is rise divided by run, equals 1, the rise divided by negative 1, the rise divided by 9. Okay, so we find that the slope of the line connecting these points has to be the same as the slope between the points, and that slope is negative 1/9. Now the other part of this, we could pick either of these points. So let's just take, let's say we take 5, 3, and we follow a slope that looks about the same as this, and we're going to assume the slope is the same as this, out to the point xy. And we construct our fundamental triangle again. The run up here is going to be x minus 5. The rise is going to be y minus 3. So the slope is going to be y minus 3, the rise, divided by x minus 5, which is the run. That slope has to equal the slope between the 2 points. So I'm going to say, okay, slope equals slope. So y minus 3 over x minus 5 has to equal negative 1/9. And we solve for y. What we get in the first step, we multiply both sides by x minus 5. We get minus 3 equals negative 1/9 of x minus 5. So that, skipping a step, multiplying through by the negative 1/9, I get negative 1/9 x. and then multiplying negative 1/9 by negative 5, I get plus 5/9. And then adding 3 to both sides, I get plus 3. And that can be simplified. 3 is 27/9. We add 5/9 to 27/9, and we get 32/9. So we get negative 1/9 x plus 32/9. I'm not going to write that down. So that's one way to get the equation of the line. Another way to get the equation of the line is to use a formula, but a formula doesn't necessarily invoke understanding. These pictures tell you why the equation is what it is. But we have a formula that says y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, the point slope form. Now, m is just the slope between these 2 points, so m is negative 1/9. Okay, using 5, 3 as our point, x1, y1, then x1 would be 5, so we'd have x minus 5. And y minus y1 would be, well, y1 would be 3, so we'd have y minus 3. And this equation is identical to this one and is going to simplify the same way. I'll put a couple of dots here and say this comes out y equals negative 1/9 x. Then it's going to be plus 5/9 and plus 27/9. I'll say plus 32/9. Now to check this, I don't have room to write out the check, but to check this, we plug in negative 2 for x and 4 for y and see if it works. So, well, if x is negative 2, then negative 1/9 x will be 2/9, and something's wrong with my arithmetic, because 2/9 and 32/9 doesn't add up to what I said it adds up to. Let's see, 5 and 27. Something's wrong here. So what you need to do is maybe go through this whole process and see if you can correct whatever error it is that I happen to make. But it does not appear that when x equals negative 2, y is going to end up being 32/9. So something is wrong somewhere, and I'll leave it to you to discover what that is. But this is the process. I'll probably come back in a subsequent video and correct this, but you should really work it out before you see what I do to correct it. Okay, now what's the slope and the y-intercept of the equation negative 4x equals negative 2y plus 3? Well, the slope and the y-intercept of y equals mx plus b are, well, slope equals m, y-intercept is 0b. So we want to put this equation into this form. Well, solve the equation for y. We have negative 4x equals negative 2y plus 3. If we subtract 3 from both sides, and I'm going to reverse sides also, we get negative 2y equals negative 4x minus 3. And then we divide both sides by 2, we get y equals 2x plus 3 halves. So that m is the number in front of x, which is 2. B is the number we have out here, that's 3 halves. So the y-intercept is 0, 3 halves. Now, what are the slope and the y-intercept of this equation? I'm trying to see what's different about this situation and this, and I'm not sure what it is, but we'll go ahead and find it. Okay, so we solve for y. We have 2x minus 4y equals negative 3. So negative 4y equals minus 2x minus 3. And then dividing by both sides by negative 4, we get, and I'll write out the step, negative 4y over negative 4 equals negative 2x over negative 4 minus 3 over negative 4. And what we get is then y equals negative 2 divided by negative 4 is 1/2 x. And then 3 divided by negative 4 is negative 3/4. Negative of that is plus 3/4. So that m is 1/2 and b is 3/4. So slope 1/2, y-intercept 0, 3/4. What's the x-intercept of this equation? Well, the x-intercept occurs when y is 0. So we plug in 0 for y. And we get 2x plus 2 equals negative 2 times 0, so that 2x plus 2 equals 0. 2x equals negative 2, so x equals negative 2 over 2 equals negative 1. The x-intercept is therefore what point? It's a point on the graph where x equals negative 1 and y equals 0. To check, this is clearly an x-intercept because this is an x-coordinate and the y-coordinate is 0. If the y-coordinate is 0, you're on the x-axis. If we plug negative 1 in for x and 0 for y, we get 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, plus 2 equals negative 2 times 0, which is 0. Well, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So we verify that this is the x-intercept. Okay, now let's find the equation of a line if the x-intercept is negative 5 and the y-intercept is 7. I just looked at the camera and I think we're about out of time on this video, so I'll pick this one up on the next video, and I'll also see what I did wrong here and correct it. But again, see if you can figure out what I did wrong and correct it yourself before you look at what I do.